Guys, look, we can go vote. Let's go.
Yeah, sorry to break it to you, Taryn, but before the Revolutionary War, we really couldn't vote. So, yeah.
During the Revolutionary War, many African Americans were enlisted or forced into the battles, and many of them chose the British side because the British promised them one thing: if you join us, we will give you freedom and land and space. And hearing that, many African Americans joined the British side, and during the battles, they had the right to bear arms and fight for them. So, yeah.
For the prisoners, it depended on whether they were an officer, just a common soldier, or a lieutenant. The outcomes were slavery, disease, and execution. But the common soldiers were given freedom if they promised that they were not going to escape or challenge the U.S. Let's get this job started.
During the Revolutionary War, women usually just clean. So, example 1.
Example 2 of what women would have to do during the Revolutionary War.
After the war, however, many of the surviving African Americans were not given the freedom. They were not given the land based on the British's lie. Instead, they were either forced back into slavery. Some who refused were killed or captured, taken as prisoners, and barely any African Americans were given the promise of land and freedom.
Yo, Taryn, come on, let's vote.
But Rain, I thought you said we couldn't vote. We're basically irrelevant and only good for housework.
No, Taryn. That was before the Revolutionary War. See, this is after the Revolutionary War. We actually deserve to have rights because apparently we were only good for cleaning. So, let's vote.
After the Revolution, Native Americans were forced off their land because the colonists won the war and the British owned some of the land and the colonists took it over. After the Revolution, the prisoners of war enlisted into the opponent's army were sent back to Great Britain, or they worked really hard to earn their money back.
Let's get this job started. Amen.
You have to make some face. Okay.